Hello and welcome to and back to and whatever you want to call it. This. Oh wow. Weird. Apparently I'm about to unlock one of those chest things on DLive, however that works. That had been basically nothing for ages. I wonder why it's only moved up now. Whatever. So, hello, welcome back. What am I doing? I don't know. I'm so close to getting all the relics in Warframe. So, yeah, it's a physics engine now. Is what I'm calling the thing. So, oh god. I haven't really thought too heavily about what I wanted to do, other than am I going to continue with the triangulation problem, or am I just going to move on from that to the next step? Nom nom nom. So, I think I'm going to move on from the triangulation thing, and I can go back to that another time, which is going to be fun, because I'm going to forget how everything works, and I have to relearn it, and then I'll probably do it right. Or I'll do it terribly wrong, and then remake what I already had, and that'll take like a couple of days or something. I don't know. But, whatever. So, what am I doing? Musics. That would be nice. Also, refresh the chat. Oh, I didn't even refresh it. It was just there to begin with. Move windows around. Okay. Musics. It's actually doing a pretty good playlist again. It was that good one. Synthwave it is, apparently. Just never know about these things. Anyways, so physics. Because that's the next step. I was going to do the triangulation thing and then this step, but I didn't really think about it at all. This is where I started doing the Doom engine last time because it got so crazily complicated. I need objects to interact realistically. How in the world do I do that? So basically I just need to drop an object onto another object and have it do things. So, like in real life, you drop a box onto the flat ground and it just plonks onto the ground, or a ball or a sphere or something like that. It just plonks down. If you dropped a box or something, it would plonk down unless at an angle that isn't directly 90 degrees because, or 45 degrees, because it just do whatever. So how would I get it to account for rotations? That is the problem I'm having. That's where I was sort of up to with the other one. I was just mashing together random things. I don't really know what to do about that. I guess I could just do the normal collisions first, but yeah. So you have a box, and it's hit the ground, and it's moving down. This corner, in the case, I've drawn this way longer, but then this way is off center. So it's, I don't know, let's just say it's falling down in this direction. So how much of a rotation is going to be added to this thing because of the offset of the center of mass to that point? That's the question. So I imagine it's going to pivot around this point. But by how much? How do we tell? I mean, it's going to have something to do with the offset of the center of the mass from the center. I mean, from along that line sort of thing. So the center of mass is like pushing down that way, and this is going to be distance, some sort of a distance. Or maybe not. Maybe it is as simple as this rotation. Maybe? No, it's going to have something to do with the amount of force. It's going to be multiplied by the amount of force that was going down by as well. So let's just say it's 1. So if this thing is going down, it hits the thing, it's off-center from... the collision point is off-center from the center of mass. Oh, this is only taking into account one collision point too. If we had 2 collision points, well, it'd still be doing the same thing. Just to both points. So, yeah, it would be... let's say the offset of that. So I'm going to assume it's going to try to rotate it around by that amount. So it's going to rotate around by that angle times force. I'm not sure what 1 would be though. Yeah. And that's another place where it gets complicated. Because let's say all of that is working. What in the world would happen if the box was basically flat? So this side's going to hit it, and then it's going to rotate around, and then that side's going to hit it, and that's both going to happen in the same frame, because we can't just have it step by step with these calculations. It would look too laggy, I imagine. So that's going to go down, which it's still got rotation in this angle, so it's going to try to flip itself up. But it was offset, so it's also going to negate that to go down. And if the amount that it negates is more, then this angle is going to go again, and then it's just going to sort of vibrate backwards and forwards. So obviously I need some sort of a... well, it's also going to be applying an upwards direction, I guess, isn't it? It's going to bounce up. But no. Yes. So the amount of difference in this force will probably be an upwards one. So those two vectors will cancel out, but gain an upwards direction. I assume? I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing here. I sort of got to work out all this math before I can even really start, don't I? Well, the first thing I can do is just have simple collisions. So let's just have a shape that falls down, it hits another shape and stops at the intersection location. So that classic nutshell. To do that, we've got to sort of ignore all of this junk. Sure, why not? And I gotta have the same thing for this as well. Because we are going to go back to that, but we don't need it right now, so we'll say that is equal to A. This is equal to B. And that should default everything back to the way it was, and I should basically have the template file again. So nothing happens. I can still move around though. That pops up. Okay. So now we want to have proper mesh rendering jump. So we need to create an object. OBJ equals object gen. Relevant information, so scene, location. We'll just have it at 0, 0. Size. Okay, now this is complicated stuff, because this is going to be a mesh-based object, so the size is going to be relative to the bounding box of the mesh, and so is the location, technically. So this will be the location of the median point of the object. Okay, so I'm going to set up all the rendering for that. Its ID will have to be some sort of a unique ID. I can call it whatever I want. Okay. So mesh 1. Don't need any override data. Okay. So now you need to have some sort of a rendering system that accounts for mesh information. I'm wondering, should I code that into here? So if you have the mesh data, then it's going to override your normal rendering stuff with the... I mean, it's normal rendering stuff just on a box. It's just a pretty clean one. Okay. Just make it nice and clean. So, this is basically going to be doing what I was telling it to do in here. So let's just grab all of you. Boop. Okay, so in this case the mesh is just going to be object.mesh, I guess. And yep. So this is rendering all what is this? Oh, this is filling faces. I've just forgotten to make that note. I also removed the change to faces so they fill in the entire area, because I was messing around with the thing before and it seemed like some of them weren't actually being filled, which seemed like they should have been, which is weird. Anyway, there'll be many reasons for that. Oh, I suppose that should probably go up here. So we've got faces, normals, edges, and verts. Everything should be all fine. We probably don't need to do location. This is going to be globally based. I want the vertice information to be relative. Relative to what? The median point. So the median point is going to be the only world space thing, and everything's going to be relative to that, which means I could just plus that to everything rather than doing the zoom offset function every single time. Okay. So... So what about that? We want to put a... that thing off the microphone. We want to put a what now? Well, we want to have a median point in the first place. So I guess that's just going to be some separated information to do with the object. Do I start that up? Yep. Let's just have that as a thing. Mid. Let's just call it the midpoint. It's called a median, I think. Well, let's just go to mid. So all location information is relative to that. Okay. So we're going to assume that's there. We already have a location. So I'm assuming I'm just going to be overriding that location with this location. Unless that location is already this location? No. Because this is the bounding box location. This is a different one. What do I want to do about that one? Do I just want to call it location? I suppose I can just override it pretty easily. Okay. So in that case, it's all the vertice location information is going to be relative to that. I don't need to do the location thing that I was saying I needed to do. So this now just becomes I feel like I should call this one locate. But then what's this going to be? Generic A. And that's going to just be this 0 plus that 0 and 1s. I gotta just do that to each of the locations. Oh, and also call location A. That one's different. Sort of. What we do? Comes that. I have points on the previous ones, did I? No. That's basically the same thing. Okay. Yeah. Make sure I'm changing the right numbers. Okay. Okay. Oh, damn it. No, yes, that's fine. Okay, so that should be that. You should render as designed, I guess. I don't think I should require any changes anywhere else. That should just be all good. That makes it all relative. I just need to have a midpoint and the other information. Okay. So this should do both things. I have colors set to a default thing. That's just for visualization purposes. So I should just be able to give it the object mesh. Okay, if object mesh. So I should just be able to say object mesh equals something. Okay, let's do it this way. No, I don't like that way. I don't think that should trigger if I just have an empty object. Well, I mean, it said it was false. Okay. No, that's a thing. Okay. Can't I just do it like that? Or do I have to have in brackets? Yeah, false. Okay. But then as soon as I've got something in it... Oh. Really? Oh. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's true. I don't know what the other thing is going on about. That should be false. Okay. Huh. Well, it's usually false, just an empty array. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to do the object true thing if I want this mesh to be a default thing always recognized within here, but as an empty object. I could just add something else after it. Okay. No, because that's still an object. That would work. If it has a midpoint, then it probably has the rest of the information. And if it doesn't, it's not going to loop through any of the things that it's asking to loop through. Hello. Get softer rendering. There we go. So we want to add an object, spawn an object in. We want to add it to the QuickLeisure grid. How do we do that again? I always forget that one. At least I didn't forget to add it this time. I usually forget to add it as well. Update node. And scene and object. Okay. So that should add something that I can see. No? Ah. There we are. So it is adding an object. And now we want it to render a mesh with this thing. I guess I'm going to need an update mesh function. Object dot mesh is equal to mesh. What do we do here? We want to add vertices and things to it. So we want 3 new verts, new edge and a new face. Now let's just say mesh. Hello person to join, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. Mesh location will be negative 10, negative 10. Do like a whatever triangle. And B1 is that. 2, 3. So this one will be positive. This one will be 0, 10. That should be that. 3 points of a triangle, and we need to join the edges. Edge. Oh, edge is 2 things, whatever. V1 to V2. So let's just go with E1. 2, 3, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 1, and then we need a face. I have the deleting stuff set up. I haven't need to delete stuff yet. Just say F1. Keep the naming. And your E1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's see if we see a triangle. Nope. 1, 7, 4, what? Functions. Okay. Oh, I don't have the base stuff set up with this. Boop. And now we have the extra mid. Oh, mid's an array. Damn it. Do I have it as undefined? Do I have a toggle just to enable mesh rendering? Let's just say if mesh. No, because I don't want to set this thing up every single time. Whatever, it's going to need some sort of a location. Let's just say 0, 0. Actually, I could say just literal location. Well, you guys can just be instance. That should be fine. No, that's not fine. This needs to be somewhere else. Because the locations that are created from the bounding box of the object. Which means I'm going to figure out how to do the bounding boxes. I got a bounding box thing. Never mind. Yeah, that toggle's not going to work for rendering now. Any easy way to do this? Yes, the easiest way would just be the weird way. OBJ true. If this has contents. If there are verts existing within it. Or also faces, I suppose. If it has faces, then we got something we can render. Although we can render without faces. In certain conditions. So why not? Okay, there we go. And now you work. Hey, we got a little triangle. It's very, very little. Just add zeros. Okay. So now we need to update the bounding box. Bounding box. I guess the bounding box can just be gotten from the whatever. Rotations are going to have to update things too. It's a little bit more annoying. Although rotation is going to be different. If we're just rotating, we just rotate the bounding box. We don't have to recalculate it. Because we already know the extreme... No, we do need to recalculate. Okay. Rotations are going to be heavy. Whatever. So what am I doing? Okay. So... Update mesh. Okay. I mean, I could say update whatever I want to update. I mean, we're just updating the bounding box in this case. But I suppose anytime there's a change to the mesh, there'll probably be a series of things I want to update, so let's just go with that. Okie dokie. Let's just shove this down the bottom. Update mesh. And we need to get the bounding box. Where in the world is that function? No, I don't know. Let's have to look through things using it. Object bounding box. Okay. So this just takes an array of the vertice locations? Well, okay then. I don't remember how this returns stuff. So, for the in object mesh. Let's get there eventually. So I want to look through all the verts. Make the object of the locations into an array, so whatever. we want to push that into there. Push the butts into an array. Hello, person who's joined us. Man, finally! How are people finding my stream? If you could say. Is it the time I'm streaming? Is it because I didn't have tags because Twitch mysteriously keeps removing those? Or is it just the time? Did I say that twice? How are people finding me? Or the title of the stream, that was the other thing. I changed the title to sound more interesting. Anyway, so yep, that pushes that into there, this goes into here, blam, we should now have a bounty box. Box is equal to that. What is box? Okay. Twitch Creative. What the world is Twitch Creative? Is that a category? I don't really know how to use Twitch. I've just been streaming here. Yeah. I'm assuming it's a category. Is it a category for all non-game related things? Or is it you just mean like the science and technology tab? I don't know. Okay. Well, it's interesting that I happen to be there. Or is that the tag thing? There's 3 tags it always gives me by default. Creative. Oh, okay. I always just have those 3 by default no matter what I do. It's my ones that I keep putting in that keep getting removed. Okay, that's cool. Nice to know. So what else is this gonna do? I've been trying to stream on a site called DLive as well, but I'm not sure how that site's going. It was really good when I first started, but now it seems to be falling apart. Like, I was getting viewers and stuff, and now I don't. I had one guy there the other day, I think. Okay. Yeah, it seems like there's not many people who do non-game things in streaming places. You can't even find, like... I spent a couple of days searching around all the different streaming sites I could find, and they're all just games. Except for one of them, which was about, like webcam stuff, face-to-face things. And then there was another one that was just about drawing furry art, which seemed really popular. There was a lot of streams going on that one. Yeah. Well, I was thinking, like, we need a proper streaming site again. Something like what LiveEDU was when that first started. LiveCode. LiveCode was the best site ever. Until it wasn't. And then they died, then they killed themselves, and then they killed their dead body. It was like LiveCode, LiveEDU is where it started to fall to bits. Well, it's where it's dead. And now it's called, like, the Education Network or something or other now. But yeah. I wish I was better at doing that sort of stuff. I was thinking, like, I bet if I made a Patreon or, what did they call that thing again? Kickstarter. I bet if I made a Kickstarter for a programming only, or a programming main topic site, whatever you want to call that. Programming centralized? Whatever. It'd probably get a whole lot of money. A streaming site for mostly programming and creative things, and no gameplay related things, or ideally, at least not to start with, unless I had some sort of category system where you can easily and clearly separate the two. So if you wanted to do game stuff is over there. If you want to do non-game stuff is over here. And I don't know, maybe there'd be other subcategories I just don't know of. I don't know enough about that stuff though. I don't really know any communities that I would share it in, talk to about it. I'm no good at art, like design, so I can't design a website to look any good. The way I'd assume it would work, for the easiest, cost-effective way, would be to have it embed other streams onto it. So you would be streaming to Twitch, but it would show up on my site as well, on this site. And you could have your own categories and things. So whatever you stream on Twitch, it automatically embeds it on this site. But as if you were watching from Twitch. So it's not like I'm stealing views from Twitch or something. It would be watching on my site would be basically the same as watching on Twitch, except I have the categories and stuff, so it makes it easy to find. Anyway, rambling. What am I doing? Just an idea. I just don't know enough about streamers in the community. Yeah, it's just raw JavaScript. That's the other. I don't like the. Why did this switch windows? How long could a title be before it's just too long? Because I imagine if I added stuff like that, it would just. I mean, I guess I could do something like this. What do you think sounds better, programming or coding? Coding is smaller. I could do something like that. And they always have like a capital C. S. Wait, what am I doing? JavaScript. Yeah. Something like that? I guess so. Okay. I like it, like, they got that science and technology tab. It used to just have programming and stuff. Since they changed that, views have just tanked. And now the quality of my streams is tanking, because I got no viewers and people there to keep my quality standardized or whatever. Anyway. What am I doing? Broken 457 game. Yeah. 4, 5, 7. It's just about people who play games. What's the problem here? Oh, because it's no. Because I made a mistake. Oh yeah. I thought this was the place running it. That'll be that. Cool. Okay, so that should be my bounding box. Negative 100, negative 100, 200 by 100. That sounds about right. So, yeah, right to left. Top left to the bottom right, I mean. So that would be location and size. Okay. So I'm going to do the update mesh. You're going to do that to get the box, and then it's going to say j.loc is equal to box. Well, I can literally just say equal to. No, I want to keep instancing. That 0 is equal to box 0, 0. And 1 to 1. j. Well, let's just see if that works first. So that should move this white box to that corner. Great. Oh, I don't like how well this is working. Size 0. What am I doing? 0 is. Slow down. Size 0 is equal to box 0. Box 0? Box 1 minus box 0. And 1's the 1's. Well, there we go. We got a bounding box. We will also need to update the Quick Vision. So that's going to have to update the node. Let's test to see if this works by doing a rotation. Okay, rotations. Should I code that into here? I guess why not? Rote mesh. Or object. Okay. Okay. How to standardize this? This is a terrible way of doing this. Should I keep the system separate from what it previously was, or... Okay. Well, this is all my own program, like all my own code. I've coded all of this entirely from scratch over the last couple of years. Every time incrementing on it, making things better over the thousands. Probably not literal thousands yet, or projects that I've done. The way that I code is like I have my main file over here, which is just like HTML junk, and global variables. So this is basically where I'm keeping all my global stuff. It's like rendering information, basic stuff, FPS, information, CTX storage, WebGL thing. I don't even know what I got here. Clipboards for copy pasting, because that's the thing. Debugging information, so on and so forth. Loading in external files. And then events. So all the different click events, touch events, whatever sort of events I happen to be using. And working out if I've selected an element within the canvas, because I have my own system for elements and junk like that. I could literally talk about this for hours. Yeah, then I got game, which is relevant, the relevant code for this project, basically. It's the project code. Pretty much all the rest of the code will stay the same throughout different projects when I update it. Like, I update that code, but then that stays the same for all other projects. Game is the one that gets switched out. Yeah, you get the point. Then functions, so this is my library of all the different functions I've created over the years. 6,000 lines now. So this has got everything. Any sort of non-relative function is the idea. So like what did they call that word again? When like a function requires another function to run. I forgot what they call that. I was just talking to a guy the other day about it. Anyway, so the idea with this file is I could replace this one file on all my projects and they will just work better. So any updates I happen to make will just optimize all my projects. But it doesn't quite work like that. To do that, I have to have the same inputs and outputs for everything, but generally I change those around every now and again. I have like a whole experimental section, which is the majority of it now. Like, everything above here is my experimental section. 4,000 lines. And most of the stuff isn't even experimental anymore. A viewport system and junk. I gotta clean this thing up. It's been a couple of years. Anyway, and I got rendering. It's pretty empty. I have a viewport system, so I can have multiple viewports or multiple windows, like independent of each other within the same canvas, so they're not separate canvases, it's all the same canvas. And then they all have a layering system within each independent viewport, so that's nice. I mean, basically a layer is like a viewport within a viewport. UI information, that's a new one. Debugging stuff, keeping standardized frame rates and stuff like that. Being able to tell how long a function takes and optimize stuff. Dependencies, that's it. Why aren't I hearing blooping from this? My sound's not working. I just refresh the chat. I would do this for a job if anybody was willing to pay me. But, you know, it doesn't matter how skilled you are if nobody's willing to pay you for it. Keyboard events. Mouse look stuff, so I can do 3D things, PHP things for server-side stuff, so it's my login system. Very buggy, doesn't really work that well. Yeah. Yep. So this is like, I've done 3D engines and 2D engines and all that sort of stuff. I've never done the physics stuff though, which is... Last time I was trying to do the physics stuff, I ended up getting distracted and built Doom. And then built it again using graphics card stuff because I never got into graphics things before, like the GPU style, GPU side things. I just do it entirely within the canvas, all my own code. Yeah, I don't even have multi-core support properly yet. Now I'm thinking of all the many different projects that could benefit from, and Yeah, multi-core support is a real pain. They lock you out of a whole lot of features which are really, really handy in JavaScript because they're like, oh no, you could hack people's computers with this. Anyway, let's get this object to rotate. So how in the world am I going to do that? So I can get it to rotate by making a function and run that function every time there's a rotation to update the information. So I can update the literal vertices locations, or I could offset their locations, which would be a thing within the rendering, but I can't just offset it within the rendering because it's also got to offset it where it is in the click collision grid, otherwise I won't be able to click it. Which, this grid in the background is my click collision grid. It's more than just a fancy looking pretty thing. Basically, any object that overlaps with the tiles, if I click within a tile, because that's easy to find out, you know, XY position of the mouse, you just round it within world space, what tile is it over. It'll then check all objects that have intersected with these tiles to see, or with the tile the mouse is over, to see if you click that one. That way you don't have to check every single object in existence, you just check the one in this general area of the mouse. Nice and simple. Yeah, if I rotate the object, it's going to be changing what tiles it's overlapping, so I need to update it on the grid, which means I need to update its bounding box, but the bounding box comes from the vertices, so the vertices has got to account for the rotation. Okay. So I should just be able to have a rotation, offset it within the rendering, and offset it within the update mesh. Although update mesh could technically be combined with the update node, which updates it on the click collision grid. Originally things were nodes, because I was building a node-based program. So yeah, I could add it to that code, but I think it's still too early for that. I need to standardize things first. So sure, let's just do it that way. Okay, to do it that way, we're assuming rotations are going to be rotated from the middle. So before we just simply push this, we need to offset the rotation. Hi, rope. Is this rotation then location, or location then rotation? Always forget. What are you? Okay, location then rotation. So I'm rotating that by obj.rote, if I remember right, 0 to enable instancing. Yep. Don't need the extra index. It's just there because instancing. If you don't know about instancing, basically if you had something like an array, and you said A is equal to this array and B is equal to the array, and then you changed A, like an index within A, it would also change the same index within B, because A and B are both an array, not a variable that contains the same content. They are both the same array. So that way I can have multiple objects having the same rotation by just saying one equals the other. Job done. But it needs to be an array or an object for that. You can't just have a single variable as far as I know. Anyway. Fancy stuff. I'm really surprised at how long I could code before I found out about instancing. It took a while before I realized that's what the problem was, or there was a problem at all. So that should do that. And now I have points being rotated. Nope. Because this has to be offset. Nope. It's already relative to the origin. Oh, that's nice. Oh. Ain't that great. Okay, so now I need to add that to the rendering. How would I add this to the rendering? I guess anywhere I use this, these points first have to be rotated. Ooh, I don't like this very much. I'm rotating these points quite a lot, multiple times for each one of these rendering things. Eh, whatever. As if any of them, they're just for the debugging purposes, I guess. So that will be equal to this. And then you just do that. Okay. And no, that one's a bit more annoying. Do that. Good. Get that out of there. And you are this. Yeah, that's the benefit of coding all your own stuff from scratch, is you know how it works. And you know how you can do stuff. So I can quite easily just jump around the place and do things as I want. If I can think of a way to do it, then I can just do it the way I just thought of. I don't have to try to look up APIs and ask questions to people, because I just know. Really nice. Is that gonna pop up? Is that why I'm not hearing the bloops? I can see your messages in the chat thingy on the side of Streamlabs, but it's not popping up in the viewport, is it? Did my chat system break? And it knows you're there, but it's not receiving any of the messages. What's going on here? Oh no. Yeah, they are. Okay. It is not making a sound though. Whatever. I'll just unmute this one. Unless my sounds are broken. I might have lost the sound file. I built the chat system itself, and the sounds are just... I just googled random sounds, and if I found a sound that sounded cool, I would literally just copy it from, like, how the site was accessing it. I didn't download it, and I don't have it stored on my computer, it's literally just copy-paste a link. So, I've had a few times links have broken to different things with it. So, I gotta go find new ones. Oh, it made a sound that time. It's because I was refreshing it. Yeah, you see at the top it's got how many people are viewing from Twitch. So when I refresh it, the way the system works is it checks to see who is viewing my channel, and then it checks that against the list of names that it knows of people viewing my channel currently. And if that name does not match one of the list, then they must have joined, so it sends a function saying pop up a message for this person on that site saying that they joined. So when I refresh it, it clears the list, so everybody's a new person. Okay, now I'm hearing the bloops. I'm hearing the double because I have it open twice. Okay. And what am I doing? Zeros and ones. And that to this. I feel like I may have broken something at some point. Whatever. Oh, nice. I always wonder if it updates after the stream or not. And that's exactly the same as that, so I should just be able to straight up replace this. Okay. And last one. Of course it does. Script? What do you mean script? Oh, there. Script. Saved. I should probably update it on DLive as well. Where'd DLive go? Every time you resize this thing, it decides to load again. That one. Yeah, plays a lot more than Twitch. Oh yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I seem to be getting... when I first went on this DLive side, I was getting more viewers here. I was getting, like, nothing on Twitch. Like, I gotta be streaming for basic... Like, I normally have to be streaming for, like, 2 to 3 hours for, like... Well, probably an hour and a half of view. So in an hour and a half of streaming, I might get one viewer. And usually it's the same guy who just puts me on in the background, basically, just to help bump up my average view count. But, yeah. So I miss the days of, let me just check out my, thingy on here. I miss the days of live video, as I was saying, because back in those days, like, I used to get over 1,000 views a day, at any time, basically. I'd always constantly have, like, 25 people in chat at any time, in chat, talking at any time. But yeah, it's all dead now. Although now I'm not really sure how many of those might have been bots, because I can't check every single person. There's always people coming and going. So maybe a number of them were bots. But yeah, the DLive site uses cryptocurrency sort of a thing for donations, and it seems actually pretty cool. People just give you like fractions of cents worth of money, and I was having a whole lot of people having bid. Well, I had two people when I first started streaming doing a bidding war thing. Then they ended up donating like 100 of these Lindo points, as they're called, and it adds up to about $1. So that was nice. That's the biggest donation I've had in like the last year. Yeah, it's increasing as well, which is pretty cool. Like, I had $2 worth of donations, and now it's gone up to $3. I think it might have dropped ever so slightly now. Yeah. Any person join, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. Anyway, so that should be... Oh, one last one. What is equal to this mesh but location? Cool. And you have that. And you have that. Okay. So that should relativize the rendering and all that sort of junk. So whenever I do a rotation, I just have to do the update mesh function. So nothing's broken, is it? Doesn't seem to be. Okay. So let's add a keyboard key. Let's just block comment here. Rope the mesh object. Sure. And you are going to be a held thing. Sure, whatever. 1. No. Let's go like 3. Well, okay, why not? And you will happen when I press A. You will run the function of rotate, and you'll be -3 when I press D. So while the key is being held, I also got to pass the object through. Okay. I guess that's just object. Okay. Object is object. Now, how in the world do you work again? I'm assuming it's going to be obj equals vars dot obj. And sure, no. Offset, that'll do. So object dot row 0 plus equals. Oh, hang on, this just needs to be a 0 or 1, doesn't it? Ah, whatever, let's just do that. Let's do the 0, 1. UB1, UB -1. 3 times offset. And then after that, we just got to do the update. Job done. Interesting. That That is... okay, I mean the bounding box is doing the bounding box thing, but it really feels like some of those points are getting closer and further away. Okay, no. It's just longer to this one here. But hey, it seems to be working. Great. And at any point, that should be clickable on the collision grid. Let's just make a quick test for that. What are we doing? Object, mouse down. Oh, what the world are your variables again? Really? Oh, that's up. Whatever, doesn't matter. Up. Equals function, just override its default. Good enough. There. obj.90. That'll do. Yep. Okay. How did it start? Okay, it's gone outside the tiles it was originally in. Yep, that seems to be working. Great. I made a rotating triangle. Now what do I do? So we have the click collisions working, we have a triangle, we want gravity? Okay, let's add gravity. obj. Update. Update's fine, isn't it? I made a standardized update at one point, I can't remember what it was. It was probably this, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't. And no, that's right, there's an update. Ah, now I remember. Resize update's the one I'm thinking of. Or was that just called update? Oh, goodbye music. I want this to update every frame. Tick. That'll do. Delay this function. No inputs. Every frame we want this to run. You also go in here, and you'll be saying okay, so if I have a mesh object and I want to move it, I need to move the midpoint, not its location. That's interesting. I don't really like that very much. But otherwise I need a separate location for the bounding box, which is done a completely different way. Whatever. Mid, whatever I want to call it. 1 plus equals, I don't know, what's gravity again? 9.7 or something. I mean, I don't have a vector force thingy, so I'll do. Mesh of undefined. Well, object is object. Oh, I need to input object. Well, it falls. Nope. 9.8. Well, it's 9.7 something something, which is rounded to 9.8, I think. Or 9.78? I don't know. I did a vector thing though anyway. I do have a vector. I can make a vector, but whatever. It's just moves down at this point. So, what was I about to do? Yeah, my bounding box didn't move. Why didn't my bounding box move? bounding box didn't move because I need to offset the mid. Oh, also I wasn't... No, I'm doing the update. So, plus VGA dot mid. I should fix that. Or break that, okay. What? Did I? Oh, mesh. Mesh mid. Yep. Oh, yes. But only when I'm rotating it, so what? Oh, okay. That's a different number than I remember, but sure. I used to know it to like the 3rd decimal place, because why not? Update mesh is only running when I'm doing that. Oh. Well, that would mean... well, that's a bit of a bummer. Okay. So I'm moving the midpoint down, but the midpoint doesn't update unless the bounding box updates. Because that's updating the actual location. Although I could just be changing the actual location and the midpoint location. I mean, I could make a function for when objects move, so if I'm wanting to move an object, I say object move this. I could do something like that, I guess. I don't like that though. I'd like it if I could just update location and it works. I just move its location, job done. How do I do that? I would... what do you mean a group of the bounding box and the triangle? You mean like have another object outside of the bounding box and triangle? Which they're both relative to? I mean, that's basically what the midpoint is. I thought I was onto something, I forgot what I was thinking about. So, when I update the bounding, when I update the mesh to update the location, I could then make the mid relative to that location. Something like that. So, maybe? No. Because when you move the object, you expect the mid to be the point that is at the 0. Like, if I told it to be at 0, 0, the mid is what would be there, not the top corner of the bounding box. But that's just how location works. Unless I make a secondary location. This is bringing back memories of doing this once before now. I had a secondary location for vertices. Yeah. Why did I do that? Because one of it was its literal location, the other one was its transformed location. And I'd use its transform location for rendering in 3D, because that way I didn't have to calculate it every single time. I'll just do it the first time and then save it to a buffer within each vertice. But, is that a different problem? Probably. I could store... I could have... I could do... Okay, with an update mesh, I could have a secondary variable of if there has been a change to the mesh. So this is more of an update location, update object than mesh, but whatever. Should I call it update object? Let's go with mesh, whatever. So if this is a thing, then we got to recalculate the bounding box. Or I could just have the bounding box be a completely separate function. So if I'm rotating the object, I need to update the bounding box. But if I'm just moving it, I don't. So this updates the bounding box and then updates the click collision. Okay, I guess. So, sure, update mesh can be that. Then you just don't worry about this. You're updating the bounding box and nothing else. Oop. Oh, okay, cool. God, I haven't had anybody join that in a long time. Oh, damn. Yeah, I usually post updates whenever I have something post-worthy to show. I was doing a gear project before, as you can see, but I don't know. I was getting absolutely no views on that one. I did like a 6-hour stream, probably multiple times, with only the usual guy that just drops by, doesn't say anything, and leaves. And bots. Many bots. Oh, I dropped food on the ground. Damn it, I'm hungry. Yeah. I really gotta link it to my website as well. I keep meaning to make my news page, but I never do. What's it doing? So... completely lost my train of thought. Very slow today, I feel. I'm slow every day. What am I even going about? Sure, update mesh. It's update stuff relative to the meshes being changed, which in this case is going to be rotation. Then you update that thing, so that means when it does this one, you're just updating on the click collision grid, and you are not this, you are no, because what am I doing? No, I forgot I was going with this. Or did I just not think it through? So when I change the midpoint, we need to update the location relative to half the size, I guess? I mean, I guess that would work. Other person joined, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. I get lots of viewers today. So, I knew changing it to be a physics engine sounds a whole lot more fancy than a triangulation thing that I was doing last time. Because that's the next step of this thing. Well, this is the next step of this thing. So, the first step is to... what I was working on last time with this project is I was making it so I could just draw a shape and then it would triangulate that shape. Because I have triangle collisions as a thing I've made before. So if I make a compound triangle collision mesh, then I should be able to have a mesh of any sort of shape, and it'll automatically generate collisions for it. The next step is the physics part, having them collide and stuff. I've got stuck with the triangulation thing, it's not working for some reason, I can't be bothered continuing with that until I can be able to continue with that. Oh, my normals are all backwards. Anyway. So, yeah, my plan here, if anybody's wondering, once this is all working stuff, below post to join, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. God, at this rate I'll have an average of 3 viewers or more on this stream. I think my average is down to like 0.2 now. Yeah, I want to make like an asteroid style game, where you're flying around a little triangle ship. It's probably just going to be a triangle ship because I suck at art. But instead of asteroids coming at you, like, I played this game on PlayStation once when I was little. I don't remember where it was. I'm pretty sure it was on PlayStation. It might have been before then. Old PC thing. But you're flying around with the spaceship. It had Newtonian physics, or Newtonian physics, or whatever they call it. Where, to slow down, you have to accelerate in the opposite direction. Which was really, really complicated. I could never get that down. The AI was way worse than I was, though, so it was fine. And, you could fire and hit the, like, the level, the asteroids that sort of made up the level, and it would actually dig holes in it and stuff like that. It was so much fun, like all the different types of weapons they had, blowing it all up and things. So I want to make something like that with this. So once I have the triangulation thing working and the physics working, this basic stuff, I mean, I can have collisions. I don't really need bouncing off things. If I have something die. Yeah, and I'll have it so that you can fire things into it, and it will create a hole in the mesh, and then it will triangulate the new collisions for the indent within it you just made. And I could have stuff like rough, sort of cracked looking stuff rather than just a smooth cut into the wall. It could be all jagged and stuff. And I could have like bunker buster things that go into the rock a bit, make a small shaft and a big hole in it, or like lasers that just knock things off the surface and that over like constantly. I don't know, fun stuff like that. I could do a game like that. That's my goal here. Later. Late end goal. No, with the spooky stuff song. Anyway, what was it on? Oh damn it. Yes, so I want to recode how update node works, damn it. Okay. In that case, with this other one, I don't need to change location, I only need to change size. Okay. And in that case, I don't want to have to be checking this with every single object every single time with my object true thing. Wait, didn't I change? Oh. Wait. What was this? No, I think that was just mesh first before. I may have changed the wrong line earlier on. I think that broke it apparently. Yeah, it was just mesh verts. So we know that mesh exists, but does that exist? Okay. So you can be that, and then I'm just going to have some sort of a toggle for this. Or I suppose I could just ask, is mesh? I don't want to have to say this every time by default. Whatever, let's just do it. Have it ask. So, object mesh. And object mesh by default is going to be undefined. Hello poster join, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. So that's going to be undefined. This is going to have to be added in manually. Put that there so I know what's what. So when I create my... where am I? Yep. Create my object. Object mesh is equal to that. And there we go. Now I have a nice simple toggle. I can tell if I'm rendering geometry or bounding or just simple boxes. And that means I can add it to the update node in a nice easy way. Which won't be too performance heavy, because this gets run by everything constantly. Well, whenever something needs updating anyway. Could be run a whole lot. So I guess it's gonna have to bypass. Nope, this is all complicated stuff. So I need to remove what tiles it thinks it belongs to, remove what tiles is... like, remove itself from the tiles, remove the tiles from itself. And then I add the new ones depending on its location, which is what this is, updating its location with moved and scaled. So those are still going to be a thing. So I updated before here. So if object mesh then location 0 is equal to object. Damn it. Yes. Object mesh mid 0 plus object size 0 divided by 2. Check for 1. Minus. Okay. I think that should be good. There we go. Oh, that's not right. My bounding box is off. My bounding box is off because it's not centered. The bounding box is not always in the center. Okay. So I could create a new variable, or I could just literally have the bounding box. I'll just call it box. And then the box will just contain its location and size. So you could just be that. Okay. That works. And size is just size. That'll do. That should fix my problems. I don't like how it's done, but I cannot think of any better way. So... where am I going? What was it doing? Oh, I keep zoning out. This is terrible. The whole day is felt weird. Yeah. Nothing to do with rendering. So obj.mesh.box equals box. We need to add a box by default. Zero, 0. Add that to this one so I know what's what. And also add it over here. Remember what's what. Oh, still a box. Okay. And now, what do I do? That should be that. Yeah. Okay. Is this running? Yes. What is this error? Because we need to plus... Get out of here, Cortana. Because we need to plus... Where am I at? We need to plus the mid to it. We'd have to do that to both of them, I guess. Oh well. 0, 0, we'll just do that as a separate thing. Plus equals j.mesh.mid. Oh, well, you know, actually I could just do that within the other thing. No. Let's do it within here, because that other one could run multiple times, where this might only be running once every now and again. Yeah, mid. Mid, 0. 1. 1. And then we do that again. And then the other box. No. Really? Because this is 0. What are we moving? Move in the mid. I am very confused. I feel like this should be working. Why? Oh. Because I'm not... Because the mid's changing. Duh. Never mind. So it has to be done in the other one. You can go away. Back over here. Let's get there in the end. Job done. There we go. That's looking good. And I clicked it. It was moving. Everything's all good. Get rid of that console log. Let's just be happy with this. So now that we have that, and we have the other one, we have a basic box collision that we can first do to check to see if we need to do a triangle collision on the next lot of stuff. Let's just keep that there, I guess. So, what are we going to do about that? I haven't seen a message from Hydration Bot yet. Or am I tapping to? I don't even know. Collisions. So I could just have a pseudo ground, I guess, or I could have another object. I mean, pseudo ground is easy enough. Let's do another object. Okay. So now I need to create a secondary object, and I need it to collide with that. So... duplicate all of that. J2. Should be all fine. And then we just want to move this one down. So we should just be able to say this. I mean, I could just set that by default really, but no, let's do it this way. Mid 1 is equal to 300. What? Ah. Okay. Let's go 400. Forgot about zooming. I knew that. Every time. I always forget something to do with zooming. Why is that always been a thing? I guess so. I've never done that. Didn't do that with the last lot of stuff I was doing either. Okay. Not the rendering of that. The rendering of the object. Mesh stuff. I mean, it's counting for zoom offset. This is the vertices. Never mind. Yes, yes, mine. Where do I put this? What am I caring about? You'll sort of expect zoom offset to be accounting for this. Oh, there. I just remember the thing I did last time. I wonder how I did that. Whatever. I mean, I'm carrying about it with the lines. No, this was working before, wasn't it? Yeah, it is zooming in and out. It's because relative distance to the mid. Maybe. Why do I do that? That's a different mid. It is not being barred. Relative distance is that plus this. How do I do that? Yes. I believe I just do that. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. And could update everything. So that one. That one. Nope. Boop-a-doop. There we go. Looks all nice, except for my normals being inside out. Yeah, that's not really an easy fix, is it? My normals, I think, are just straight up backwards. No, it's because of the direction of these. So vert 1 is that... yeah, I went anti-clockwise before. So if this is 1, that would be 2 and this would be 3. That would fix my normals. There we are. Dark blue line on the inside. Okay, so there we go. Zooming is fixed. And that is fixed. So now we need the collision thing. What exactly am I going to do about the collision thing? Okay, I need vectors. And then the vector will be cleared. Sort of. No, that would still have little drifty downy things. I need to negate. Because that's a complicated thing about physics. You can't sort of half do things. You have to go all the way, otherwise you got a whole lot of sub-physics. Like if an object hits something, it's got to apply an equal and opposite reaction. When something falls onto something else, it doesn't just stop, it pushes the thing it fell onto like in a direction, or the thing it fell onto pushes it in the opposite direction to keep it touching. But the object I'm hitting isn't moving relative to perspective. So it needs to apply... What am I doing? I can't just have it cleared... If I just had it clear the vector when it hit it, it would then still be moving down by gravity. It'd be pushing its way through by 9.8 every single frame. So I need to set its vector to be negative 9.8 when it collides. But then we have the order of collisions and stuff as well. So... more confusing stuff. Like if you have two objects hit a third object, but the two objects were going in different directions to hit it, and they both hit it at the exact same time, what happens to the vector of the one that they hit? It'd be pushed away from the first one in its opposite direction. And then the second one would hit it, or may not hit it because it's just been moved out of the way, even though they should have touched it at the same time because of the order that they happened in. Unless we need one loop through the function variables jumps to... we gotta loop through once to get the data, calculate it, and then loop through a second time to apply it. Yeah. But, no. Maybe? Because both objects hit at the same time, it would be adding its force to one of them, but it would be applying a full force to one of them, and then a different force to the second one, where it should be half the force to one and half the force to the other. Where both of them apply a full force to it. Or something like that. I don't know. So, what am I trying to do? I wanted to hit it and stop. I could just crash. Crash the whole thing when it hits it. I guess that would work. Let's do that. Okay. So, collisions. We got it so it falls down. Boop. We want it to stop when it makes a collision. To make it check for a collision, we've got to see if there is a collision with the bounding box. So, I guess I could have this within the tick update. So we add in gravity before or after. Oh, then we got the vector stuff. So we need the vector before changes and after changes. We need vectors, okay, which we should just have a vector. Ah, but then vector updates. Well, that's going to be the tick update. Okay. So, object dot... oh, that was right. Vec 1 plus equals that. And obj... well, what that was just a moment ago. Whoop. At the end of this, we need that to then be plussed by object vector 1 and also 1 to 0. Okay. And we need to check for collisions, but we want to check a collision for where we're going to be, not where we currently... No, we want to check between... Hang on, how do I want to do things? Because we could be somewhere and then be somewhere else. If we're moving too fast, we'll skip straight over the collision. So I need to know where we were and where we're going, and then I need to check anything between that. And that leads on to that problem. If there was just like a really tiny dot, how would I tell that I hit that dot? Because I would check all tiles between the areas, so if I just made a big rectangle, did it have anything inside of it? Okay. Then if I had something inside of it, check between collisions of what? The more detailed thing. So in this case, it's going to be just triangle, but I can't do that to compound ones, can I? So I'll check to see if the box collisions hit anything, then check to see if the triangle things hit anything. But the triangle things is just box... well, it's not boxes, it would be... what is it? How did I do triangle? Well, triangle collisions just check to see if something is within something else. Within a triangle. Is a point within a triangle. So if I just check the 3 points of one triangle to the 3 points of one other triangle, like 3 points of one is inside that one, or 3 points of that one is inside this one. If there's any sort of intersections, one of them will be inside of the other one, whichever way around that happens to be. So then we know we have a collision. Let's just go with that first. Okay. How do I set this up? I suppose I should make a collision check function. Should that be part of the object, or should it be a globally thing? I don't know why, I feel like just putting it part of the object. Object, reject, I mean it's a more efficient way of doing things. Or is it? I don't think it really matters. Sure, why not? I'm doing this. How do you spell words? Reject. EDJ. Yeah, I'm getting hungry. I might have a food break. And then maybe... I don't even know if I'll come back. Well, let's just do the basic collision check thing before I go. Before I do anything else. So we don't have the rotation mesh, that's nice and simple. I am really surprised it didn't get angry at me for that. Whatever. Collision check equals function. I really need the object information, everything else is assumed from within that. So, what do we want to do? We need to do the box one first, so... Do I have a thing for this? I don't think I do. Really? No, I must do. I don't think I do. Well, okay, first off I need a function just for simple box collisions. Is a box overlapping another box? No, I must have that somewhere. That is too simple to have gone this long without needing. Yeah, I got that somewhere. I have used that on many projects, but I have absolutely no memory of it. No, I have subtle memories of it. I'm remembering it being in here. I had it under here at one point. And then I had it at the bottom of here at one point. Cat. I must have moved it somewhere. What would it be called? I know I've definitely used this for many things. I have no memory. Yeah, that's for intersecting lines. Which actually, that one should probably be deleted. This is other people's code. I have my own function for how to do that now. I don't even know what that means. What even is this? It's not even a complete thing. Just get rid of that. I think something somewhere may have been using it, but I've got my own function. I'll just have to find out what broke and fix it. There should be another half of that somewhere. This one, which I think is a different one. That's right? Oh, this is how my 3D engine's working. I should probably actually keep that there. I'll have to make another one that runs on my function to see if it's any performance differences before I do that. I mean, I do have my own one, but if that one works better, I should keep it. I mean, You sort of need all the power you can get with a 3D engine. That other intersection thing shouldn't have broken anything, I hope. Let's add it back. Well, I imagine it's going to be something like box something. Box collisions. C. Simple. So, is that a C for simple? Or is that just like variation C? Oh, corner. That was the one that was checking for corner collisions. So that was a different variation. Where is my other one? Okay. Well, that's where that wants to be. Interesting. Okay, well, how do I check for box collisions? This is checking two boxes. That's another problem. No, this didn't work. Supposedly that was to tell me what corner was inside of what box. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for one box's corners, and 5, 6, 7, 8 for the other box's corners. And then by knowing which one's inside of what one, I could have done something. I have no memory of that. Okay. I mean, it also literally just tells me if they're intersecting. No, it doesn't. Damn it. Yes. Because, like with the triangle ones, if they're ever intersecting, there should be a corner inside of the other one. No, this was for rotatable boxes. This is just simple bounding boxes. Okay, whatever. I guess I'll just have to recode it, because I can't find it. I wonder how many functions I've got in here that are like that. Box collisions. Box 1. Box 2. Okay, have fun. I try to stream every single day. I could be on at any time, anywhere, any place at all down here in the Deep Blue Sea. I've got an inconsistent sleeping cycle, so who knows when I'll ever be on. Feel free to subscribe if you want that notification. I assume it gives you a notification, I have no clue. Thanks for watching. Okay, this is actually a lot of work. It's gonna take me a while to get this stuff working. No, it's not gonna take that long. Okay. Don't take a break until something's done. Because I'm hungry. Hunger is motivation. So, it's just a greater than less than thing. Oh yeah, this is... I must have this somewhere, come on. I have coded this so many times. Every damn time it confuses me. Whatever. This isn't actually a function I'm just not seeing. No? Wait, was it keyboard inputs at one point? No. Rendering? The bottom of somewhere. I don't know. Okay, so how do you do box collisions? You have two boxes, you need greater than, less than, the two corners of it, so you've got to get the two corners. You only need the two corners, the two diagonal corners, which are the same diagonal corners for both boxes. With that, you can find out all the other information you need. Okay, so I'm going to assume that this is what information? I don't know. I could get it by getting the bounding box. No, get extreme. Yes. So, is this location and size? I'm going to assume this is location and size. So... Box 1C for corners, rather than V for vertex. 0, 0. This would be a double thing, because we got two corners. And to get this information, we would get extreme. And if this worked like I remember it was working just a moment ago, this will be an array of the corners. So this would be box1 dot loc 0, box1 loc 1, box1 loc 0 plus box1 size 0. There's ones to twos. That equals this. That equals that. Okay, so that's the two corners of my two boxes. And then I say if box1 0 0 0. Gotta draw the picture as always. So just a simple thing. We've got a box here, we've got a box there. Are they intersecting? Oh my god, look at that perfectly closed corner. And that pixel perfect line up to there. So we're assuming this is 1 and that's 2. So if that one 1, and that would be that one's 1 and that one's 2. So if this one's 1 is less than that one, if that one's 1 is greater than this, so if box 2 whatever, box 2 0 is greater than box 1 0, and box 2 0 1 is greater than box 1 0 1. So that's greater, that is greater. Okay? So we know it's least within this edge, but is also within that edge. And box 2 1, which would be the second one there. We should put those as zeros and ones, whatever. The second one, which is the 1, is... No, wait, what? Hang on. That is still 0. 0 is less than that. And that is less than that. So this would be inside, it would know that. Okay. So the opposite of that would just be the other boxes thing. So let's say this is box 1, 1, 1 and 1, 2. That's the second one. So if greater if that, else if basically the same thing. I think we just turn all these to ones. So if box 2 0, no, box 2 1. What? Hang on. Box 2 1, which would be that one, is greater than 0 of this one. Yes. and box 2's 1 would be that one, is less than 0, 0 this one. Okay. So that would understand that. So if this box was here or up there, both of them would understand it as a collision. Okay. And what happens if it was over here? So that would be 1, this would be 2. Okay, I'm thinking of corners. I gotta be thinking sides. Is there a difference? I don't know. So it is greater down and not across. Wait. Both of them just need to have one true. No, it'll always have both of them being one true. So if I had a box all the way over here, it would be greater than there, but this one not and that one not. Yeah. So if both of them have one that is true to do with the corner of this. Hang on. So that would be true, that would be false, that would be true. That would be true. If it was this corner, true, 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 true. If it was that corner, true, 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 false? Hang on. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it's because I'm thinking of it in squares. Yeah, from the corners. Let's just go back to the start. Yes, kitty. Pulling on my headphone cable. Standing in the dark where I can't see you. So if box 1, 0, 0, so anywhere along there is greater. I need a loop. I remember being able to do this with one of these ifs, like one line as long as that. So greater. So that is not within that. That is within that. Maybe I do need to just check all 4. Now I'm remembering a different way of doing this. You can't. Whatever, let's just do it that way then. Oh, I'm getting crazy deja vu. I know I've made this function at least 7 times. And all but the first 2, I was unable to find where I put it last time. I think I even put it somewhere without. Well, that was the one that was at the bottom of the page that I keep remembering. Okay. But the C one is here. The C one should have been created directly underneath the original one. Or maybe I couldn't find it, that's why I created it there. Whatever. Secondary way of doing this. Okay, so we have box 1 is equal to an array, and this is an array of 4 different things. Which is that. So it's just this thing. There's hydration 1. And box 2 would be this. And then we say 4. Let's say, sure, let's just go 5. So we'll loop this 4 times for the 4 different corners, and we'll be checking all of one against the 4 of the others, whatever. So we say if... Doesn't matter which one's what. No. If this 0 is less than that C, and this 0 is greater than that C, then it is inside the left and right. That corner is inside the left and right. Okay. And... wait. That's 0 and this 2. This 1. And that 3. Yes. So that would be that, and this, if that is greater, greater is down, less than would be above. There we go. Return true. There we go. That's probably the way I remember doing it. So that would tell me there's a collision. Great. So we're assuming location and size is going through here, so we should be able to just drop the object itself through. The bounding box is what it is. So collision check is just going to be doing this with... well, now we've got to figure out what. So, for... tile in... oh, I haven't messed with anything to do with the quick collision grid in a long time. Tile dot... I'll get real hungry. This is tiles. But is this the tiles themselves or the location array which it's expecting? It's probably the location. Okay. Well, first to join, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. So that's not as simple as that. I've got a better way of doing this. What would the better way be? Well, when I delete them. When I delete them, I do the same thing to get the ranges, so I'll just copy how that one does it. Nope. Okay. So I just do this. Okay. Doop doop. Blam. That should be fine. So we'll loop it through all the tiles, and if the tile does not exist, don't worry about it, otherwise the tile is the tile. And then we say for... how does the tile work? Oh, that's a long forgotten knowledge. Hello, posted join. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. I have many memories of how the tile grid works. They are all different, and I don't know which one's the newest one. Okay, how do I add something to the tile? Does it simply get pushed in? Is it sorted by IDs? It must be IDs, but then IDs could be the same. That could cause problems, but generally objects are unique. So I guess not? Whatever. Yeah, so it's just saying tile that is equal to this. Okay. I had categories in this at one point, but I guess not. I just go with unique IDs. Okay. So, for I in tile. And this would go in here. This would be tile I, as long as if I is equal to obj.id, then continue, because we don't care about that one. Also, for added optimizations, I should make a list of things that are, which have already been checked. Okay. That's a bit annoying how that's got to run every single time. No, that doesn't need to run every single time. I just put ID into here. Checked. Checked. ID equals. Why not? Let's just go with 1. So that would then just be if checked I. Okay. And then checked I is equal to 1. Then we do a box collision with tile I. And that's collusion, isn't it? Damn it, Google. Why have you let me down? Where'd my googly tap go? Is that collusion or collision? No, that's collision. Whatever. Yeah, I'm seeing words weird now. Whatever. Collision. It's equal to that. This is going to be something. That's going to be equal to 0. This is going to be a thing. Actually, I don't need to do that, do I? I could just say if this. Return what? The object? I guess I could return the object. Sure, I can't really get much more information than that. It just tells you if there's a collision, not where the closest point is or the distance within. Well, that was the point of the vertice one. If I could get what vertice was inside of the object, then I was going to try to get the distance away from the outside of the object that vertice is relative to the other object. I remember doing all that now. I think that's what led me down the ray tracing path. No. Maybe? I don't know. Because it's like, what's directly outwards? It would be in the direction the object was traveling to collide with it. So if I fired a ray in the opposite direction, where would the intersection of those two lights? It was that! Ah. So I could do that now. But that was more dynamic bounding box stuff. We're doing a simplified form first, and then triangle collisions rather than dynamic square collisions. Whatever, so this is the object it's collided with, supposedly supposed to be. And there we go. So it should now be able to tell if there was a collision. And then it returns the object. So collision is equal to that. We have not applied vector to the things. Okay. I guess that's going to be done in the function for collisions. Where did it go? You're a person who joined. I've heard ask questions if you want to know what's going on. Where did you go? There you are. No? Yes. What? I have lost the function. Well, I got its name. It's easy to find. Nope, not that one. That one. Box collisions. What am I doing with this? This one. Oh, I've derped again. What am I doing? Oh yeah, you need to be applying stuff. Okay. What do you need to be applying? You need to be applying vector, but only temporarily for the sake of this thing. Because we want to know if it will hit. No. I do a pseudo thing usually for that. This is simply just checking 2 boxes for collisions. Nothing fancy's going on here. This would be done beforehand. Okay, so what I pass through here is a custom thing. So OBJ-A will be... Oh yeah, I used to use A and B. That's why 1 and 2 feel so weird. Object 1 is an object with loc and size. It should just be a non-instance of this. Zero. Look 1. Size 0. Size 1. Let's just put it all in here then. And plus object dot. No, let's do it afterwards. obj1 dot loc 0 plus equals object dot vec 0. And then 1s. Because I might want to be adding other stuff into there later on, I don't know. That'll do for now. And then I just do the same thing for the 2. Just that, instead of this. There we go. Okay, so now it's included the vector. If they happen to have any. So it's where they're going to be, not where they currently are, to see if they're going to hit where they're going to hit, but that isn't... no. Don't do this one. Because if they are going to hit, we then need to find out where. This is just a simple pre-calculation for a collision. Just to see if it's worth checking the heavy calculation. Because if they're both moving towards each other, and one's moving faster than the other, and they do collide, where they collide, if I found out where that location of the collide is, it could be different than where it actually is. Because it's not... it's not taking into account the movement of the second object correctly. So the actual location of the collision would be relative to one object, not relative to where both objects would be. It's as if the second one was static. Whatever. Well, let's just do it that way. Do I have this doing anything when it finds the collision? So it's still the collision check thingy. Let's just assume that that's all working. Then this is gonna go, and then we want to say if that log, I guess, would have hit. And then break it. That'll do. Map is not defined. 533. Understandable? Map. What is map? Scene. That's new. We should probably also be checking for that one too. I mean, I don't really know why that would be happening, but it could be. Okay. Hooray! That seemed to work. I didn't even test the vector thing. C is not defined. Interesting. Did that break because there was a collision, or did that break because it was checking for a collision? Functions 1413. 1413. C. Why did I call it C? It's supposed to be corner, but then it's not corners, it's sides, but it's not sides, it's just something. So I went with I. No! So it knows to check, it's just not finding the collision. Oh, because the corners are not inside, or equal to. There we go. Okay. What? Oh, I have a location. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, it's XY, XY. So if I just want to check the X, if that is... This is all backwards. Greater than that and less than that. So if it's greater than that one or less than that one... Right, yeah, I just have it all backwards. How did I do that? Nope. Well, back to my examples. So in this case, it basically is doing that. Put a post to Joe, feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. I really don't want to go with 70 viewers, it's really pushing up my average. But you know, literally one viewer would push up the average. So... Again? Already? Let's just minimize the window. Greater than that one, so we're assuming this is the first one. Location's to the top left, so yeah, it'll be that one. So if that... That was a very delayed sound. If that one... If that corner would be the first one it's checking... Hang on. This is just checking the 0. Ah, that's my problem. Is that my problem? Yeah, that's a problem. Okay. No. So if this one is I for that one, then this would be I plus 2. This is not 4, it's because What am I doing? I've just got X, Y, X, Y. I am very confused with how this is working. So that's that one, and that's that one. Which is that one and that one, so that would be between the left and right, and that would be between the top and bottom. But what we're checking is 4 corners, or 4 sides, doesn't really matter. It does matter. It does matter. I am confused! Okay. So for checking that corner, it would be the first X and the second X would be... No. It'd be the first X, the first X. So the first X is greater than that, the first X is less than that. Yes. And the first Y is not less than that, so we're failed. Then we go to that one, greater than that, less than that, less than that. Less than that, less than that. So that should be true? But we're checking X for both of them. So that would be this plus 1. But... okay, 1. Modulus 4. Yeah, modulus is handy. Helpful. So... yeah. So that would be the XY, which would be 0, 1. And then this one would be 1, 2, that doesn't work. So... I'm trying to avoid having to make this thing like 4 times longer. So... we got a plus 2, but then we just have the 2 extreme corners and we don't have the other corner. No, I can't really think of any easier way to do this without getting really complicated. Okay, never mind. So that one works perfectly fine, it's just this one that's confusing. Okay. So this is going to be an array within an array, so this first one is XY, that's the first corner. The other corner is going to be that one, so there's a corner before and after this one. So that one's going to be... which way are we going to go? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? I always think of it clockwise, but when I draw it's... why was I drawing it anti-clockwise? I don't know. It always goes clockwise. So this one is the same Y, different X, so that one and the Y of that. And then this one's the opposite of that. And the big Y. Right? Yeah, I think so. As long as on the bracket's fine. Yep. Assume that's fine, as long as it's not. So okay, so now this is I 0 and I 1. There we go. Damn it, tabs. Nope. Okay. We go the long way. So that's its location. X location plus size. And then Y location. And then X location plus size of Y location plus size. And then X location and Y location plus size. That seems to be fine. Didn't make a mistake. Zeros and ones are the right way around. Yep. Okay. They're all twos, right? Yep. And this is the 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1. So, again, it's not really a good place to put that. I'll do. So, the X, which is the location X, is greater than or equal to. No, this is backwards now, isn't it? Damn it. Greater than would be on this side. We wanted less than. Damn it. It's less than that, and greater than this. Yeah, all the arrows. Yay! That's the one I wanted to see. That's the error I created to make it stop at that location. So it collided with mesh 10. Mesh 10. Because I didn't give it a unique name. So it's mesh 1, 0. Where am I? Mesh 2. Well, collided with mesh 2. Great. So let me just name that function, and I think I am going to get some food. And then the next step is to do the triangle collisions between the two meshes. So that way when I rotate this around or rotate that around, even though the boxes are colliding, if the edge isn't colliding, it won't. So if I just drop it to the side, it should hit where it hits on this edge. And then stop. And then I gotta add it to offset so it actually lands where it hits. And then I have to add in forces. And then I have to give up on living, because then I have to figure out how two dynamic things will interact. And then I have to add rotation forces. So what is this? It's collision, box collisions, I guess it's got to do with location stuff. Nothing to do with corners. Yeah. Basic box collisions. No rotation. So, our person joined. I am probably about to go now. Let's forget about that way. So yeah, that seems to be about as how I remember this function looking. Except just different names. Because I basically don't care about any other information. I can just replace this literally just box 1, box 2. Just to make it look a little bit neater. Okay, basic box collisions, basic mesh rendering, mesh setup. What else did I do? Mesh updating, mesh rotating. Oh, interesting. That seemed to have gone a whole... I guess because it was rotating? It was changing the shape or something? That's a whole lot further down than I feel like it should be. Let me just try one more test. Let's just say equals instead of that. Have to stop rotating. Okay. I'll just check it to see if it's penetrating by the same amount each time. It's not trying to go deeper. When I am holding down the rotation button as it collides, it does seem to be different. That's only because of updating stuff. So yeah, that seems to be working fine. Okay. So, let's just move it to the side a bit. Which I was doing with... Let's move the ground to the side. No, let's move the other one to the side. Wait, which one's this one? This is the other one, so I'll move the ground, okay. That's not the ground, this is the ground. How big is this? It's 100, so let's move it 50. To the side. Okay. Plus 25. 25. 100. Yeah, 100. That'd be halfway. Plus 50. 150. There we are. So there we go. Now I gotta set up the next test. So I gotta get it to hit when it stops when it gets to the triangle, not when it gets to the box. Okay. Thanks for watching. I should be back tomorrow. No clue when, no clue where. I should be on at the same time I was today, roundabout, which is midnight my time I started. Or was trying to start. How many? I've only been going for 2.5 hours. Damn, feels like a whole lot longer. Because I'm hungry. No, feel free to like, favorite, subscribe, and donate. It'd be nice. $10 buys me a day's worth of food. Subway a day keeps the hunger away. Okay, thanks, bye.